All right, so welcome back everybody. So for this video, I'm going to be unboxing Everdell Farshore. I finally got it. Yay, I got my own copy of Everdell Farshore. Now, for those of you who know about Everdell, this game is very similar to Everdell, the regular Everdell. Gameplay is very similar. There's only a couple of differences, but the gameplay is basically the same. And so, therefore, you don't necessarily have to get this game if you already have Everdell. But I really love the Everdell world, and for theme-wise, and just simply because I like these kinds of games, I decided to get this game anyways, even though it's basically going to be the same. Now, from what I understand, this game is somewhat more simpler than the base game of Everdell, at least a little bit. So this might be a game that I might be able to pull out to introduce Everdell to new players. So rather than introducing them to the base game of Everdell, I might just be using Farshore to introduce them to Everdell, the world of Everdell. So anyways, that's what I plan on doing with this game. So let's open it up and see what's inside, because that's what you guys came here to see. You want to see the components and see what's inside of the box. Okay, well first, let me just show you guys the other side of the box, because it is kind of beautiful. Take a look at this. Isn't that beautiful? That's really nice. Okay, so that's what it looks like for the lid on the inside. Okay, well, we have the new releases for Tabletop Tycoon in here. You know, My Little Everdell. I don't know if I'll ever get this one, because it is mostly for kids. It does add something to the base game of Everdell if you do manage to go for this. But, you know, it is still, you know, this one is definitely more of a kid's game than obviously Everdell Farshore. Cool. And then obviously another one, looks like, with more Everdell stuff involved, obviously, and other potential games, I'm sure, besides just Everdell, you know. Ooh, that one looks nice. Panorama, that looks beautiful. You know, just different games that they have coming or they have in their catalog. Cool. Okay, as you know, I always skip Robux for unboxing videos, and this video is no different. So we'll skip that. Okay, here we go. Components. What are the components? What do they look like? Well, we got some punch-outs for the different islands, I believe, that you can potentially be playing with some of these in the game. We've got some treasure chest tokens down here, and we've got some other tokens here that are, I guess, the replacement for special events and stuff like that, I believe. Then we've got some tokens with the different icons from the cards. Of course, if you're familiar with Everdell, then everything is basically the same. Green, blue governance, and green production, and purple prosperity, and red destination, and tan traveler. So very similar, obviously, to Everdell. And this is what it looks like on the other side. Okay, we got more punch outs, of course. Okay, and we got some scrolls. I think actually these might be like the special events, actually, maybe. Oh, that's right. That's right. If I remember correctly, these are for when you play cards into your island or your town, if you will. This encourages you to play certain cards. So if this is the card, this is the token that shows up for the season, then it's encouraging you by giving you a benefit if you play green production cards, and so on. Critter, common, unique, construction, and the other four. Obviously, purple prosperity. Red destination doesn't seem to be one of them, unless there's another one with that punch out. Cool. So we got some, you know, these I think are the ones that replace the events and special events, and the scrolls look very similar to the ones in Spirecrest, obviously. And then we've got more treasure chest tokens. Okay, and then we got some punch-outs to put together. So in Everdell, you know, you're familiar with Everdell. The base game comes with a tree to put together. This lighthouse isn't as functional as the tree was, but it's also smaller, and so therefore it's not going to block a player's view if they're sitting behind the tree as if they were playing the base game. They don't have to worry about it with this, because it's not nearly as big as the as the tree, but it potentially could still have some functionality after it's been put together. So yeah, the lighthouse, cool. And obviously something for it to stand on, and some other punch outs here, cool. Some boats to put together, I believe, as well, cool, potentially. And then we've got an actual board here. So the board. So let's take a look at the board. So let's move everything out of the way. Everything out of the way. And let's get a good look at this board. It's a beautiful board. Woohoo, nice. Sweet. And here we are. Oh, and it goes this way. That's right. Okay. So you'll notice some similarities. There's destinations to go to because it is still a worker placement game. Here's the bay. It's a big board, so let's see if I can zoom out a bit. There we go. You can see the whole board a little bit better. And then we're going to fold it in half. There we go. So you guys can see everything close up. And all that jazz. So obviously the regular basic locations to get your resources, obviously. Cool stuff going on here. I think this is to indicate the change in seasons and what happens when you change to the next season. I believe that's what those are for. And then obviously the docks on this side. Cool. So that's the board. Awesome board. Cool. Okay. Well, we still got lots to see, obviously. Component-wise, still lots to see. Okay, so let's up next. Oh, here's the boats. Oh, these are cool. Okay, so those punch-outs we saw earlier are like the little flags. You know, not the flags, but the, whatever you want to call these. I forget what they're called. The mast and stuff with our color on them, you know. So they can go in here, I think, into this little slot. Actually, let's do that. We'll take a minute here and we'll punch out this one here, okay? And then we'll take one of these boats and we'll see if this fits like I thought. Does it go like this? Maybe not that. Maybe like this. I think it goes in. Just like that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? And then you can put, I think, like a Meeple in here or something like that. That is cool. This is definitely something unique to Everdell, obviously. Everdell Farshore. You're not going to see something like this in Everdell. That is cool. So that's what it looks like. Let's not lose this. Let's put it over here so I don't lose it. I'll put that in there. So that's what the boats look like. We'll put the boats back here. Let's see what other components we have. Okay, we'll save the cards for last. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. We got some driftwood in here. Okay, let's see if I can open this. I'm gonna have to get something else. Maybe nothing. Well, it's okay, I suppose. I just wish the bag was a little bit bigger. I'm sure I can find some plastic bags, though. So we got, get rid of that. Okay, so we have the driftwood here. So this is what the driftwood looks like. It's not round like the logs were, or the twigs were from Everdell. It's not round, obviously, so it's not going to roll off the table like the others potentially could. So that's good. Cool, so that's the driftwood. That's what they look like. Okay, and we got more in here. Oh, these are the anchors. Don't the anchors look really cool? Let's take a look at them. Anchors, yay. This is like metal. This is definitely metal. Isn't that cool? In fact, look at that. You can hear that, right? It's got a very nice sound to it, for sure. So each player is supposed to get 3 of these. Okay. And they're like, there's no occupied tokens in this game. So you can't play critters for free with certain construction cards in this game. So instead of having all that jazz like you would in the base game of Everdell, you'll instead get 3 of these anchors, and you can play any critter with the corresponding construction of the same, basically the same type. So you can play a critter that's a red destination with a construction that's a red destination, for instance, or a green production critter with a green production construction, I believe. That's how these will work, I'm pretty sure. Of course, I'll have to look at the rule books just to double check, but that's how those work. So let's just place them in here. Ooh, that was a nice sound. Very nice sound. Cool, cool. Very pleasant. Very pleasing. Okay, so those are the anchors. Oh, these are the mushrooms. Let's take one out. Okay, so these are the mushrooms. They're, you know, sort of, they're not as squishy. I would have to say the berries are a little squishier, but they're basically the same material, right? The mushrooms as the berries, you know. So cool, cool. That's cool. Lots of nice mushrooms. Okay. Let's close that one up. We've got more components though. Ooh. Here are the sea stones. They're blue. Let's take a couple of them out. Look at that. They are cool. They're nice to the touch. They're very different from the pebbles, which were, you know, a little bit more polished than these things are. But they look really nice to look at. And they feel nice too. They feel really nice. And they have a nice little clinking for sure. So that's cool. So let's put those back. So that's the sea stones. And then we still got more, obviously. I don't want to lose anything, so I'm trying to close these up. Okay, so... Okay, let's look at this one first. This is the seaweed. So there's no resin in this game. So I guess you could say this is completely different from resin for sure. Okay, now these are plastic. These are definitely plastic. In fact, you're going to have to be careful with these because you could probably rip them pretty easily. You could probably rip them in half pretty easily if you're not careful. So they're probably not the best components in the game, but certainly not horrible. I mean, especially with everything else. So, seaweed. So that's seaweed. So they're tiny too, obviously. Look at that. They're like the size of my thumbnail. Actually, I think my thumbnail's still bigger. So they're not very big either. Definitely nothing like the resin, especially even feel and component-wise, as in, you know, what they're made out of and all that. Still, they're not bad. So that's the seaweed. Okay, so those are obviously the 4 base components. Seaweed, sea stones, mushrooms, and driftwood. Okay, and obviously the anchors are not a resource, right? And then we saw the boats, but now we've got the shells. Now shells are basically victory points, so they're basically like the victory point tokens of the base game, but instead of getting them, you get these cool shells. Now they're also plastic, but they feel nice to the touch. Very nice to the touch still. And still, you have to be careful with these. If you're not careful, you could probably break one in half, potentially. With a little bit of force, you probably could, so be careful. But yeah, there's quite a few of them in here. And they have a nice plasticky, you know, noise to them. Still, not bad. Okay, hopefully these are more bags, because a lot of those tiny bags are just too small, right? So we've got more bags. Of course, these are pretty small too, so we'll have to see. I might have to grab, depending on bag-wise, I might have to grab some from another box. I've got a box full of bags that I never used for games that I got because they gave me extra, so I might do that. Okay, Meeples. Meeples are next. Okay, so what Meeples do you get to play as? What critters do you get to play as if you're playing with Everdell Farshore? Well, first of all, we have the crab. The crab is one of them. You can play as a crab, and you can give the person who if you're playing a party of 4, you can give the person who's the crabbiest among you the crab. and I'm sure he'll or she'll enjoy being the crab, if that's the case. But yeah, we got the crab. That's one of them. Okay. And then we've got... Oh, cool. Beaver. We got a beaver. I think this is a beaver. I'll double check again. But we've got the beaver. So you can play as a beaver. Cool. Very cool. So 2 for sure that are unique to Everdell Farshore. I'm going to grab that rulebook real quick. I want to double check that that's a beaver. Yes, it is. Okay. So the beaver is probably my second favorite to play with from this game. But we got more. We got 2 more. Because I already looked at the other 2, obviously. If I can pull it out. Here we go. Then we've got the puffin. Oh, I love puffins. This is definitely my favorite. I'm going to enjoy playing with the puffin. Really cool. So we've got the puffin. Very cool. And then we've got the last one you can play as, which are ducks. You can play as a duck. I think I'll play with the crab over the duck any day. But yeah, you can play as a duck. You know, cool. You know, Daffy Duck. That's all just Daffy Duck. That's what you get. Okay, but yes, the duck is fine. Ducks are fine. I don't have anything against ducks. I was just joking. But yeah, I wouldn't mind playing with the duck either. But yeah, those are cool. So those are our 4 meeples that we can play as. So that's that. Now we just got the cards to look at. So let's take a look at the cards. I just want to make sure there's nothing else in here. Nope, nothing else in here. Okay, cool. So let's just take a look at the cards. And hopefully they're easy to open. Is that an open spot I can open? Let's see. I need to look at it closer. Almost got it. The first one. There we go. Around we go. Open that. Open that. We'll take a look at all the cards all at once, so to speak. So let me open up this one too. And of course, if you're watching the video, you can always just skip ahead to the next part where I start showing you guys the cards. Okay, but that probably won't be necessary since we've got the cards here. Now we're going to zoom in so you guys can see better, or sort of bring the camera closer so I don't have to raise my hands up in the air and hold them for a long period of time. This way you guys can get a good look at all the cards. Okay, and the artwork, obviously. So we have the Sailmaker. Now, I did do a video showing the cards and what they do. So I'm just going to say their name and move on. If you want to look at the cards further, you can pause the video. But yeah, but you can still see everything in its glory. So, okay, so Sailmaker. Well, moving on. We had a few of those, 3 of those, looks like. Then we've got the Merchant. Beautiful. And we got 3 of those. And we've got the Sea Chip. Cool. 3 of those. Then we've got the Scavenger. And 3 of those. Then we've got the Diver. Ooh, I just love octopus. The Diver. Cool. 3 of those. And the Scribe. Obviously 3 of those. The Treasure Hunter. Cool. Seahorses. Got 2 of them because they're unique. Sloop. Then there's the Grove. And it looks like there's 4 or 5 groves. Cool. The beach sledge. 3 of those. The tangle raft. Tumbler. Scriptorium. Cool, cool. Warehouse. Postal pigeon. Stowaway. Oh, it's a starfish stowing away on the boat. They don't even know it's there. How could they? Oh, that's hilarious. Castaway. Oh, the pirate. It's a lizard. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Cool, cool lizard guy. Although I don't see a tail. It must be small or hidden away. Yeah. Either or. Still cool. Cool, cool. The hideout. That's definitely a frog. Rope bridge. The galley. A shipwreck. Lighthouse caper. Herbalist. Another frog, obviously. Cool, cool. Ooh, a dolphin. Navigator. Customs officer. And a lighthouse. Cool, cool. We still got more. Well, that's just half of the cards. Okay, then we've got the port. Yeah, that's a lizard right there on the left. I'm pretty sure. Another lizard. Cool, cool. And the market. Customs office. Let's hold half of them. There we go. Steward. The cartographer, which is an azultal. Cool. Illuminator, sea turtle. Cooper. Abby. The inn. The post office. Crow's nest. Admiral. Guildmaster. Pilgrim. Another lizard. The sculptor. Now that one definitely has a tail. Cool, cool. The governor. Galleon. Windmill. The harbor. Gardens. manner. And then we've got some other cards here, other types of cards. So, with that on them. With this crab guy. I think these cards are for the solo game. I think. I could be wrong, but I think these are for the solo game. Or maybe you can even play against him even if you're not playing solo as an additional player, if you're playing 2-player, who knows. But yeah, I suspect that these are for the solo opponent if you're playing solo. The crab pirate guy. And then we've got some other cards here with stuff on them. Different things on each one, looks like, so different stuff going on here. And then official contract. Oh, see, yeah. Obviously the solo. Cool, cool. And then we've got another card here with numbers on it for some reason. So who knows what that's for. And then that's everything in the box. Cool, cool. All right, so that's everything in Everdell Farshore. So if you guys liked this unboxing video, don't forget to leave me a like, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.